Ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello and welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Congratulations on your abundance. I want you to take a look around you right now and really notice how abundant you really are. There is a program out there that says we're lacking, says it's not enough. I'm not enough. They're not enough. She's not enough. He's not enough. Job's not enough. It's not true. It's a lie. We are so abundant. So take a look around. How abundant are you really? Notice the kids and the grandkids and the smiles and your significant other and your friends and your family and the roof over your head. So much abundance. Congratulations on your abundance. We have an amazing show today. We have the amazing Debbie Morton with us. She is an incredible human, number one, and she's also my friend. And she has navigated grief the best I've ever seen in my life. She is such a beautiful example of living and staying vital and staying in control of her thoughts. And she's amazing. She's going to teach us a lot today. We're going to learn a lot from her. And I'm so grateful that she's here. It's a life hack full show. We have mantra magic here. Stay tuned to the end for that, and meditation moment. I appreciate so much you taking your very precious time to spend it with us today. Amazing. All right. It is now time to change your state, elevate. Amazing. So this is when we take 2 minutes to change our frequency, to change our vibration to wherever it is, to higher, or from crappy to happy, or from happy to even happier. Okay. Takes 2 minutes to do this. It doesn't have to take long. And when I was thinking about what to do today, my favorite go-to, and this is the one I use mostly in my life, is when you run in place. Okay. So I want you to stand up. I don't care where you are. Grab the kids, the grandkids, grab everybody. And it's just going to be 2 minutes. So you're going to stand where you got your left foot forward. Okay. And we're just going to run hard. All right. Ready, set, go. And keep breathing. Sometimes we want to hold our breath, and that is not a good idea. We want to always keep breathing. Keep going like you want to win it. Go hard. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, if you're just jumping on now and you're wondering what the heck's going on, we are changing our frequency. So now you're going to put your right foot forward, other side, and we're going to run hard. Ready? Go. And breathe. Breathe. Remember to breathe. Go hard. Go hard. You got this. You got this. Keep going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Woo. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Let it all hang out. Let the day go. Wipe off the day. I always like to do that too. Wipe off the day. Amazing. Well done, everyone. Well done. Whew. All right. It is now time to get our shit together. very excited to introduce you to Debbie Morton. 2 years ago, Debbie was happily married and living in Arizona. Everything changed on June 7th, 2022, when her husband John passed away unexpectedly. They say don't make any major decisions for 1 year after any spouse passes. However, Debbie didn't want to listen to what they have to say, so she made a decision to sell everything she owns and travel the world as a nomad living out of timeshares. Woo woo! I sold timeshare for 12 years. I love it. In 10 months, she has been to 4 countries and over 25 states in the US. She has started a YouTube channel where she talks about grief, her travels, and her home-based business. She has inspired thousands of people with a message that the pain from grief is inevitable. Suffering, however, is a choice. As we complete the pages in our book of life, no matter how bad the last chapter was, the next one can still be amazing. Put your hands together and welcome the amazing Debbie Morton. Woo!
Thank you, Amy.
Oh, it's so great to have you here.
It is awesome being here. I'm so excited for this.
Very cool. So Debbie, we met, where did we meet? What, a year or two ago, right?
It was, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and we met at the airport in San Jose del Cabo, and you actually got to meet John on that occasion. I think that was the one time that you had an opportunity to meet him.
We were just headed down the escalator and you guys were right there too. It's right. I totally remember. That's right. Amazing. So tell us, I want you to connect with the audience a little, and whatever your bio didn't say, I want you just to fill them in a little bit on who is Debbie Morton. And I'm going to duck out while you do that.
All right. Well, first of all, I am so honored to be here with you, and hopefully there's something that I can share in this hour that will inspire you. And grief isn't just about losing a spouse or a loved one. Grief can be the loss of a job. It can be a friend moving out of state. There's lots of times that we go through grief. And so hopefully I can share something that will help you. I'll briefly go back. My husband passed away. It's been about 19 months now. We used to travel a lot and would stay out of timeshares. And it was always stressful because we had so many points that we didn't know how to use up all those points. And when he passed away unexpectedly, we had 3 vacations booked. And I decided to go on those vacations without him. And I did invite friends to go with me on those 3 occasions. But it was while I was on the second one, I was sitting in Tennessee, and I made a decision to sell everything and live out of timeshares. It took me about 10 months to do that. And here I am.
Amazing. So how has that been, being on the road, not having a traditional home?
You know, it's better than I ever expected. And people will say to me, oh my gosh, Debbie, you're so strong and you're so brave. I really don't feel it. I mean, I live in timeshares. I'm in beautiful areas. Right now, I'm staying at Upaya Retreat Center for the month. And it's not like I'm in places where I need to fear for my life any more than I would have in my own neighborhood. And so for me, it's been very cathartic, sharing my experience to the world and being able to travel the world.
Amazing. So where's your favorite place you've been in the last months?
Well, Upaya, of course. This place is magical.
I'm not paying her to say that.
No, you don't have to pay me to say amazing things about this. I will say that since I left, probably one of my most favorite places is St. Martin. I had just an incredible, I had a studio, I had a full kitchen, and my bedroom actually did lock off. So it felt like a 1-bedroom unit. I looked right down on the water. I could walk everywhere. I could take a bus for $2 anywhere on the island. I went to Anguilla and rented a car and drove on the opposite side of the road. So that's probably been my favorite place because I felt like I overcame some real fears there. And it was just really special and very beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, well, we have travel in common, right? Our love for travel. I'm always somewhere. I had one person come up to me and said, we should play a game. Where in the world is Amy? And we could play that with Debbie too. Where in the world is Debbie?
love it.
So tell me, how did you have a YouTube channel? So tell me, how did that get started?
You know, I've always, thought of maybe being on YouTube, but I really didn't know what to talk about. And I've been in the world of home-based business for many years, but I was kind of aligned with companies that were train wrecks up until recently. And so I've just kind of always put it on hold. Interestingly enough, prior to leaving, I met with someone who was kind of a spiritual guidance person who did not know me. She was not following me on Facebook. She didn't even, I don't even think she knew my last name until I gave her my credit card, but she just nailed it. Everything that was going on in my life. And when I had a follow-up call with her and I told her that, she told me I had to leave where I was, but she didn't know where I was going, which was kind of ironic. And so I did leave where I was, and I'm kind of all over the place. So when I did a follow-up call with her, she asked me, "Are you on YouTube yet?" And I'm like, funny that you would mention that. I'm kind of considering it. So I did start my YouTube channel about 6 months ago, and I had a huge following on Facebook because from the time John passed away, I just shared my authentic journey. If I had a cry, if I got signs from beyond, the struggles of dealing with the finances. His passing was unexpected, but I did have premonitions. I shared all of that on Facebook. So it just seemed like a natural step to go to YouTube, where I could reach an even bigger audience of people who are searching for what I had to share instead of just a social community.
Absolutely. And like I said at the intro, I've been following you in your journey on Facebook. That's where I've seen you the most. And no, I'm in awe. I'm in awe of you, and I'm in awe of how you've handled this situation. And I'm really grateful that you've been living it out loud for everyone, because I agree with you. Grief isn't just the death of a loved one. It's the death of dreams. It's the death of relationships. It's the death of jobs. It's all of that, right? It's when we think we've got something certain, and then it's not. And it can be a shock, and it can be really hard. What tell us about the process of grief. I remember the other day you were telling me there's a few things you shouldn't say to someone who's lost someone. I think that would be absolutely important. And then I also want to know what should we say? What is best to say, at least from your experience?
Yeah, I'm glad you're asking that question. And actually, I have a YouTube video that's going to go up here in the next few days. So by the time this airs, it will be available. We just don't know what to say to people. It creates an awkward moment. When I'm in my travels, I don't even tell people I'm widowed, because a perfectly happy conversation can turn very solemn. And so I typically don't even share that with people. When John first passed away, there were a few things that I would hear, things like, "Oh, I understand the loneliness. I got divorced," or "I know your pain. My mother or my father passed." And we try to connect with people. This is just in life in general. We try to connect with people with something that we have in common, and grief in whatever form we feel like we're connecting in common. So I think people will say things because they want to connect. "I know how you feel because," and that's something that we really don't want to do, because when someone is widowed, whether it is a long-term illness or it is a sudden passing, the widow or the widower is just in a complete fog, a complete state of grief. I mean, their whole world turns upside down, and we don't know how to navigate that. And so when someone says, "I know how you feel," no, you don't, because you're not me. You have different life experiences. You have different friends. You have different experiences. You don't know. And so even I've learned things now going through this journey. I would never say to a newly widowed person, "I know how you feel," because I've been there myself. I don't know how you feel, because you're you and I'm me. What we need to do for someone going through grief, and I think it's whether you lose a loved one or any type of grief, is just hear them. "I am so sorry you're going through this. If there's anything you want to share, I'm happy to be a shoulder for you to cry on. I'm happy for you to, just, you can get a hug from me. You have my time. I want to be there for you. Tell me how I can best support you." And I think that is what we can best do for anyone in grief. And so I will now on Facebook, because I have so many followers, when someone loses their spouse, and there's been probably 2 or 3 people in the last year, I'll read the comments and I'm just like, oh my goodness, you did not say that. Don't say your spouse is in a better place. We don't think there's any better place than by our side. It's like, no, they're not in a better place. We might down the road feel that way, but certainly not in that moment of grief. And so that would be, in a nutshell, what I'm going to be sharing on that next video.
Oh, that's so good. So good to know. And yeah, everyone's just trying their best, right? But sometimes our best is just really messed up. Okay, so newly widowed or someone newly in grief. The most recent grief I've gone through is the death of my dog. And I know that doesn't even measure up to a spouse. But it was hard. It was so hard. I think I cried more over that than a lot of things that I could cry over, and I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so hard.
And I knew your dog. Your dog was so amazing. I remember seeing that post on Facebook. I cried at the passing of your dog. And animals can be like family to us. So it hurts every bit as much when we lose our pets. Our fur babies.
Yeah, I know, right? Ugh. So she's such a blessing. So how have you? What has worked? I guess is what I want to say. How have you navigated it? I mean, I've watched, but how would you put that into words? And what has worked? What has helped you?
A great question. I had done a lot of personal development work prior to John's passing. I've been to UPW, Tony Robbins, I've been to some various different events. And so I feel like I was equipped with a mindset that maybe a lot of people didn't have going into this situation. So from the very beginning, it's so painful. I mean, that's inevitable. You cannot escape the pain. And I love what you do, Amy, because you show us how we can change our state. And I knew in the very beginning, the pain was going to be inevitable. I will be triggered, but I took control over the things that would trigger. And I know some people will leave their loved ones' stuff in place for years. In my situation, it was all cleaned out within days. If I was going to be triggered, I would control as much as I possibly could those triggers. I have photographs, I have memories, but I didn't need to walk into a closet full of his clothes and be reminded that he's not there. And so I took control over my thoughts, and I decided I was not going to feel this pain any longer than I needed to. The pain was inevitable. The suffering long term would be optional. And so I just did a lot of the things that you share on this channel. I did for myself, so that if I felt myself going down that rabbit hole of grief, I allowed myself that time and a good cry. But then I changed my focus. I changed my thoughts. And that's the one thing that we can control, is our thoughts. And I knew that I had to write my next chapter. And so that's what I started doing. What was that chapter going to look like? And I didn't know immediately. But when we know that we want something more than we have right now, and we set that intention, it opens our mind for possibilities. And so when I realized I have enough timeshare points, I could live out of timeshares for a year. I was stressing at how am I going to travel and maintain a house? And I was stressed over that. Well, I don't need the house. I don't need my stuff. I can get rid of all of that until I figure out where I want to live. I'll travel the world and I'll figure it out, in the moment. And so that's kind of where my thoughts were when everything first happened.
When you gave me the title that you wanted to talk about, transform your thoughts, transform your life, I was like, yes, because this is what this show is about. I mean, happiness is a choice. I repeat, if you have a pen, write this down. Happiness is a choice. Suffering is a choice. We are not taught this. We are not taught this. The current program is you get to suffer when this and this and this and this and this happens. And some of those you get to take to the bank for the rest of your life. You could play the widow card for the rest of your life. You could play the cheating card. You could pay the death of a child card. You can, right? These are things you can literally play to the end of your life, and people will go, oh, poor baby. Eek. No. It's a choice. It's a choice. Right. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. And it's really that simple. And it seems too simple, but it's really that simple. Once you become aware, right? You have to become aware. This is my symbol for awareness. When I wake up, I give myself a high five. And when I realize that I'm in a crappy mood, I'm like, okay, I'm in a crappy mood. Now what? What do I want to do? Do I want to stay in a crappy mood, or do I want to change it? Right? This is what we do. So tell me, how do you change your thoughts?
And first of all, it's the awareness. And I think that's the one thing that most people don't pay attention. We have to pay attention to our thoughts. And so it's inevitable that negative thoughts are going to come into our mind. It's how we're hardwired. It's how we're programmed. It's what we've learned all of our life. Our brains are there to protect us. And so our brains think of the negative. And I think the first step is having that awareness, because once you have that awareness, now you can change your state. You can change your state through music that brings you up. You can change your state by moving. You can change your state by doing a meditation. There's so many different ways. And I think it's a good idea to have a whole bunch of them. And I use them all. I mean, I remember sitting on the couch one night. This was maybe a month after John passed away. And he knows I love a good thunderstorm. I lived in Phoenix, and during monsoon season, oh my gosh, I was a kid in a candy store. I was sitting on the couch, and it was one of those moments I got triggered, and I was having a good cry and a little pity party. And I could see like the house kind of like went dark, and I looked out the window, and there was a monsoon coming. And in Phoenix, like they come up and it's like, boom. I took my tripod, I took it out to the street, and I set it up. I'm like, I am going to dance in the rain like there's no tomorrow. And I did. I set my tripod up. It was poor. I have on my Facebook page, I have it, and I'm going to be doing a video where I'm going to show this picture. I was like dancing in the street. I'm dripping wet. It was pouring. And it all came to an end when a gust of wind blew my phone over and slid all the way across the street. But it was worth every minute to have to change my screen protector to be able to change and I was laughing my head off. You know, it's like we have the ability to change our state. We just have to look for those opportunities and seize them, and then have a whole bunch of stuff. I will also say, when you said kind of what got me through it, when we become a teacher for others, when we conquer something and we show others how to do something, and I'll briefly share this story. I already had a vacation planned with John to St. Martin 3 weeks before he died. I can either sit at home on the couch and grieve, or I can go to the beaches of St. Martin and grieve. And so obviously I'm going to choose St. Martin. And I wasn't sure how that was going to look on my Facebook channel. And I'm so grateful for some coaching that I had. And coaching is so valuable, as you know. I was talking to a mentor of mine. I said, the optics of this looks horrible. My world has been turned upside down. I just want to like curl into a little ball and lay in bed, and I can't. I have to figure out the finances. But I am going to go to St. Martin. What's that going to look like when I emerge on Facebook 4 weeks later going, my office today doesn't suck, wheels up, I'm heading on a vacation. And he gave me the most valuable advice. He said, Debbie, take people on the journey with you and no one will question it. And I did. And that's why I started sharing. It was very cathartic for me to write everything I was thinking, everything I was feeling, and writing it with the intention that there was a valuable lesson in it. Everything happens for us and not to us. And that's pretty hard to wrap your head around when your loved one passes. But I just kept looking like what's in it for me. And as long as I focused on that, I had lessons that I could share with the world. And when it came time to go to say, he said, if you share your authentic self and you take people on the journey, no one will question it. He was right. No one questioned it. And I ended up with a huge following, which is why I've gone now to YouTube, because I just started sharing. When we teach others, it ingrains it deeper for us. And I'm so grateful that that I started doing that in the very beginning, because I know that I've helped others who are going through the situation. I get messages all the time. Debbie, I took my first vacation because of you. You know, Debbie, I did something out of my comfort zone because of you. And it's all because we share who we are and we share the lessons that we learn. And I believe there's huge healing in that.
Absolutely. For me, being authentic is the most important thing. We have to be us. We only get one. Like, this is it. This is what we got, you know. And I refuse to be anybody else but me. And I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and there's a purpose and a reason for it, and it will bless somebody, and it'll cause somebody else to struggle. And that's not my heart isn't to make anybody struggle. My heart is to help, and I have to just be me. So I want to encourage you to continue to do that, because I think it's definitely working, and I think it's really, it's so rare, Deb. It's so rare to see people who are actually being authentic. I think this is a gift you're giving the planet. So
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's no AI manufactured anything. Actually, YouTube kind of took me back a little bit, because I can record and edit. I'm like, stop editing out the imperfections. The imperfections are who I am. And so it's been quite a journey. Like, we're doing this live. There's no retakes. I can't cut and go, oh, I wish I would have said that differently. No. And I'm learning that on YouTube. Like, I want to be totally authentic. And if I blow a sentence, I blow a sentence. And it's like to just be real. And we see so many polished gurus who profess certain things, but behind the scenes, they're not all that. And like you say, Amy, I love you from the moment I met you. You truly are authentic, and you've inspired me in so many different ways. And I think when we are our authentic self, that's how we reach so many more people in a very genuine way. And that's, you know, I know that that's my purpose. I didn't know my true purpose in life until John passed on. Mm-hmm. I now know my true purpose in life. I know why we were brought together. I know why we were together for the time that we were. I understand why he had to go to another place, and what my mission now here on earth is. And when we are just open to everything and attached to nothing, then we can laugh.
It's so fun.
It really is. It really, you know, people are like, when I was selling everything, like, we're attached to stuff. We don't realize how attached we are to our past experiences, and even the stuff that we have around us. When I had to start letting go of the stuff around me, it was hugely eye-opening. I will never accumulate that much stuff again, or be attached to stuff again. I want to live in the moment, and just, I love what you said in that intro. Life is too long and it's too short. And that was powerful. When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, that is just spot on.
Wow. So great. I'm recently, well, I have so many thoughts pouring through my head right now. I had to start over a couple times, you know, two little boys and $20 in my pocket. And so the beauty about going through that kind of situation is, you know, that you can start over, and you know that stuff doesn't matter, and you can always get more. And so I'm just not attached anymore. And it's so freeing.
It really
like,
is.
Even to people, and I get judged for it. Like I don't care. I'm like, no, I care. I'm in full surrender of whatever is. And this person will be in my life as long as they're in my life. And if the universe moves them on, then that's fine. Like, I send you love and light, and, you know,
right.
So it's so much fun. It's just, it's so, I don't even have a word for it.
I agree 100%. Right? It really is. So I wish we could just like take that feeling and that thought and just like let people experience it. And I'm, for everyone who is watching this, you're taking a step in the right direction, because you are learning what's possible when you let go of all of the stuff and the junk and all of that. There's a beautiful next chapter, and you get to write it. It's yours to write when you step up and do it.
We really do. We get to design our lives. We're not taught this either. We're used to being victims to whatever circumstance happens. It's crap. It's not true.
Yeah.
We get to, now, not everything. We can't control everything. This is Earth school. This is Earth school. This is how it's designed. There isn't a path in Earth school that doesn't have a swamp or a cliff or bugs or some challenge in it. So just like pick one, people. Like pick the one that, as you look at it, based on what you know, makes you smile the most. I want that challenge. That sounds fun. Right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
You can't know what the other path was going to be like anyways. I promise you it had bumps in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is Earth school. Yeah. And this is what we talk about at the retreat. And you are here at Upaya because you are you came for a retreat already, and then she stayed, and now she's doing Get Your Shit Together. So I want to show a little video. Now this is for last week's retreat. And I'll be letting you guys know when we're doing another one, but this will give you an idea of Upaya and where Debbie is, where Debbie and I are right now.
Hey everyone, my name is Alina. I am here at the amazing, beautiful Upaya Retreat Center, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Get Your Shit Together retreat that's happening from March 7th to the 12th. So lucky and grateful to have been able to go to the last one last month in January. It's only been 3 weeks, and I have already seen immense change. My parents tell me almost every day how much I've changed for the better. I am manifesting my dream life. I'm becoming the person who I've always wanted to be, but always been too scared to, or put excuses. It's amazing, to say the least. It is amazing. It is the one thing that if I could share with everyone, I would share this. It's hosted by the amazing Amy Joy. She's my beautiful friend and mentor, and I am so immensely grateful for her, for teaching me all of this, for giving me all the tools, the new tools in my toolbox. It is all about oneness and growth, personal growth, spiritual growth, and about manifesting the life that you want, becoming the person you want to be. So yeah, this is something that is interesting to you. It is here at Upaya from March 7th to the 12th. There's amazing food. 7 people who were complete strangers and turned them into a family who adores each other in 6 days. Amazing. I talk to those people every day. I have so much love for them because we grew together and we learned together. So if this is something that you would like to do, if this is something that's calling you, please go. It will change your life. I know it has changed mine, and everyone who came has changed forever. So remember, March 7th to the 12th, tell your friends, tell your family at the amazing Upaya.
So good.
You know what that video is missing?
What?
It's just the overall energy. It's such a beautiful place, and the fun and everything. When you are here, the energy of this place is just indescribable. I wish I could transfer that feeling together with the video, because this place is truly magical. And Amy, I just love your spirit, your teaching, your coaching, and I love this place. And that chef isn't he the
best? Isra.
Oh my gosh.
Every meal we're like, it can't be topped, and then he does.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Amazing. So we talk about at the retreat, we talk about how to control our thoughts, how to control our state, how to transform our life by controlling our thoughts. And we annihilate limiting beliefs that have been running for who knows how long. The biggest one I got rid of was that life is hard. That was my major limiting belief. Life is hard. Imagine. And then we as people, we're always looking to be right. We're trying to prove ourselves right. So I'm like, see, life is hard. See, life is hard. See, life. No, life is amazing. Life is full of magic, and life is full of connections. Yes. Is it challenging at times? Yes, this is Earth School, but it's so much more than a challenge. right? And so we reprogram that, and then we design our life. We get really clear, and everyone walks out just like flying, catapulted to another dimension. Really, you're not the same person when you change things in such a way. So anyways, it's I'll let you know when the next one is. It's if you're ready to transform, if you're ready to get your shit together, it's called Get Your Shit Together. Because that's what I think we're all really doing. I think that's what this is the point of Earth School, to get our shit together, to remember who we actually are. And we are joy, and we are peace, and we are love. That's what we are at our core. So what do you say about it?
I agree. And all of these things are running in our subconscious mind. And you can read a book on, the stuff in the subconscious. You can read books, but until you attend an event and you experience how to reach into your subconscious mind to get rid of all of those limiting beliefs, I think that's where the true transformation happens, is with a group of people where you are supporting each other, you are loving each other, and you take us through exercises that hit the subconscious mind, and not just stand in front of a classroom and tell us, oh, you need to look for these limiting beliefs. That doesn't work. If it did, everybody would be living their dream life. It takes work of peeling back the layers of the onion to get to the subconscious, to find out what was it that formed these limiting beliefs, so that you can let them go. You don't need to carry these around. We don't need to live in an identity that we don't want to live in. We don't have to be a victim. We can be a victor, no matter what happens in our. We can't control what happens in our life, only our attitude around it. And that's what we learn in Get Your Shit Together.
Absolutely. Yes, always, no matter what. With these tools, I want to share this. In the last retreat, a beautiful human, her name's Elisa, she says this. She was 64 when she came to the retreat. And she's like, I thought, honestly, I came for my husband. I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. And I thought I had a pretty good toolbox. I mean, I'm 64. I got here this far. I got a pretty good life, And she goes, but I didn't know there was this whole other magical toolbox. And I thought, that's so amazing, because, yeah, she's got so much more joy in her life now because of this magical toolbox. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love freedom.
And I'll add to that, Amy.
Yeah.
We don't know what we don't know, but we think we do.
Exactly.
And that's where coming to the retreat is, you start to know what you don't know, that you didn't know that you didn't know. And that's where the magic happens. We go through life thinking we know it all, but there's so much that we don't know that we don't know. And you just summed it up beautifully with her testimony. Yes, there's so much more than what we are currently equipped with.
Yeah, thank you for that. And Alina says this too. She's the one who did the voiceover for that video, but she says this: I thought I could see clearly before, and now I realized everything was so blurry. Now I can see clearly. And yeah, it's great to see clearly. It's fun to not be walking around with blurry glasses. It's fun to have everything in HD. And even when it's facing you, looking you straight in the face and showing you your messiness, that's a gift, because in that glorious moment of awareness, you get to choose. And we are glorious and we are messy. We are just as glorious as we are messy, and just as messy as we are glorious. And that's a lot of mess, and that's a lot of glorious, is the truth. And we need to stop being shocked by this, right? If we were all just like free to be messy and love each other anyways, there would be less mess.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And what is mess? It's whatever we define it to be. We can define it to be just a learning opportunity. We can define it to be whatever we want it to be, so that it empowers us as we write our next chapter. So
Yeah, and messy isn't bad. Messy's just a mess. That's it. So clean it up if you want.
absolutely.
Right? Like, so good. So I have a question for you. If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
That I helped. I'm going to quickly say I went to a mastermind several years ago, and they said we were supposed to define what our legacy would be. I'm an only child. I don't have nieces and nephews. I don't have children. I had no clue in that mastermind what my legacy would be. I'm a family of one, and I had no clue what my legacy would be. I know now. I am on this planet to impact thousands and thousands of people and help that ripple effect, because I want people to experience the most incredible life that they can even imagine, but they have to start by imagining it. Everything happens first in thought, and then we can put an action plan to it. But people don't even think it's possible. And that's what I love about you and your show, Amy, is just showing people what's possible if they will just step out of their comfort zone and dream. And so I hope that answered the question. When you said that, it's like, it's becoming clear to me. It was never clear up until John's passing, and even, not clear for maybe 6 months afterwards, but it's very clear to me now. And I am so grateful for this journey that I'm on called life.
Oh, me too. And I'm so grateful for my mentors, our mentors. We share Tony Robbins together.
Yeah.
He has changed my life. I would not be who I am today without Tony Robbins and his example and his teachings. So many, my mentor, Josh, Wayne Dyer, Jim Rohn, Allison Armstrong, so many, Geraldine Meyer Rose Rogers, so many mentors in my life that have helped me become who I am and taught me what I didn't know. And then now, as Debbie and I get to do the same with the little bit of wisdom we have, we get to share it as well. So if you want to reach out, yes, it is. Reach out to Debbie on YouTube, Debbie Morton 111. Please go subscribe and check her out and follow her travels. She's an adventurer, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Thank you, hon. Can you believe we're out of time already?
No. I have truly enjoyed this time, Amy. Thank you so much for having, and thank you so much for allowing me to stay at Upaya in between 2 different retreats and masterminds. This has been such a blessing, and I just absolutely love you, adore you, and appreciate you.
Oh, it goes both ways, love. I really love and appreciate you too. Thank you. I'm going to have you back on the end. I'm going to ask you our favorite nugget question. I want your golden nugget at the end. But right now it is time for Mantra Magic. This is the part of the show where we have a mantra. A mantra, the purpose is to give you a new program to listen to, a new program that is inspiring, a new program that gives you joy and love instead of the constant one that we often have, like the one I mentioned earlier, life is hard, or I'm not good enough, or something like that. And so we're going to do that. Let me just take this down here. All right. So here is your mantra for the week. And Deb, you're going to get a kick out of this one because it literally fits exactly into transform your thoughts, transform your life. Here we go. This was written at the last retreat of Get Your Shit Together.
If I'm feeling shitty, it means I have shitty thoughts. Oh yeah, I don't have to feel bad. I get to choose what I want. School's a trick. How do I shift? Life is happening for me, and everything's here to help me. Life is happening for me. I get to choose what I want. Gratitude is the rocket straight to joy. If I change my attitude, there's so much love to enjoy. Where is the gift? There is a gift. Life is happening for me, and everything's here to help me.
Make today glorious. Mwah! Y'all know that sound. It's time for meditation moment. So grab the kids, the grandkids, everybody around. 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes to be present. 5 minutes to be in this glorious moment of perfection. So have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. Sit down. I'm going to guide you. I've got my amazing friend, Gary Malkin, who's given me his music. He's a multi-Emmy winner for his music and composition, and he has shared this with us. You can find him on Gaia, Islands of Inner Peace. Take a deep breath in, everyone. Exhale. Another deep breath in. And exhale. Make that ah sound. Beautiful, beautiful. I want you to notice, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling crappy or are you feeling happy? Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice and breathe. And now I want you to notice what thoughts are coming in and out of your mind right now. Are they thoughts of the past? Are they thoughts of the future? Or are you here right now? Again, don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. And breathe. Now I want you to visualize a candle flickering right in front of your eyes. Notice the reds, oranges, yellows, whites. Just notice and breathe. Now slowly slide that candle into the middle of your head and watch it flicker there. And breathe. With your hands on your heart, I want you to think about one thing that you are so grateful for. It brings a smile to your face. And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to send you a beautiful energetic activation. It's know that it will send you so much love. All you have to do is set the intention to receive it. And you will. deep breath in. And a big exhale. Come back into the room. Slowly open your eyes. And we're going to have Deb come back. Here we go. Hey, how was that for you?
That was amazing. Thank you. That was amazing.
It never ceases to amaze me how 5 minutes of presence is so healing. We're not usually present. We're in our messed up past or our projected messed up future. Or we're trying to project a beautiful future and we're attached to that and we're not okay unless we have that. Or we're thinking about the past that was beautiful and we're wishing it was here and now and we're not enjoying the now. Oh, this monkey mind of ours is something. We gotta grab a hold. Right? And to be present. Everything is perfect in the present. You have everything you need right here, right now. Amazing. All right, Deb. So I want to ask you this question. If you're on a mountaintop and you had the whole world at the foot of the mountain and they were paying attention and you had just one thing to share, what would that be? And you have 2 minutes.
No matter where you are in life, no matter what has happened, no matter what's going on around you, the next chapter in your book of life is blank. And you can write it to be whatever you want it to be. And we never know when our last day on this earth is going to be. Don't leave this place without having fulfilled your purpose. And if I'm standing on that mountaintop and I am sharing that with everyone, I am encouraging you, step out of your comfort zone and climb that mountain with me, one step at a time. Set the intention, step out of your comfort zone, and every day keep moving toward the top of that mountain with that end in sight. And when you get to the top with me, we're going to hold hands and we're going to shout to the rest of the world, I can, I will, and watch me, because you absolutely can do it.
Absolutely. And then you're going to notice there's another beautiful mountain to scale.
Oh, that's so true.
Right?
They never. Absolutely. There's so many possibilities in this life that we don't know, and we don't see them till we get to the next one. I love it.
And instead of seeing the mountain as something that's terrible, it's like this is the next adventure. This is the next thing I get to learn.
Yeah.
Right? The more, Tony Robbins says this, the more comfortable you can be in the uncomfortable, the better life is.
You know what? That's so true.
You are a living, breathing example of that, living on the road with just your suitcases for a year. That's slightly uncomfortable. Most people would think that's slightly uncomfortable, and you're making it comfortable.
And I love it. I love it. I never know where I'm going to be sleeping next week or next month. I'll figure it out when I get there. And that is such a free feeling.
Amazing. Thank you, Deb, for being such a beautiful, living, breathing example of how to do life, how to do Earth School. You do it so well. And I love your glory and I love your messy. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for being here, for spending your very precious time with us. Remember that together we vibrate higher, and that, my friends, changes the world. We'll see you next week. Mwah. Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.